boys and girls, babies in your diapers. Welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Hoy.
That's me, Tiberius.
Today, we're gonna talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a cool cell phone video game to talk about, a great book about being sick, my bone score report, and we got a totally awesome guest. The one, Mrs. Karen Kuzsel. Karen is a psychic entertainer who does all sorts of stuff. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you so very much.
Today, we are going to start off with the video game of the week, and this is going to be a pew-pew kind of blast.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Space Justice. So this is the first cell phone game I decided to review, and that is because it is so much fun to play. It's a top-down shooter game, much like the old arcade games my dad used to play. It is made by My.com, which makes a lot of cell phone games. This is a fast-paced game, just letting you know. You start off with the ship and you are shown story mode. This is a list of missions that you need to do. Lots of bad guys are shooting at you from above, and they fly very fast. So you have to shoot them fast before they get to you, and you have to avoid their bullets since you can't shoot the bullets down. You do missions that uses up your iridium fuel. You also have credits and XP and diamonds as resources. Each of your missions can give you some of these resources, or you can buy resources with real money. With your parents' permission, that is. There are different ships and drones to choose from. I like the Spark because it has a lot of armor, and it's my only one too. You can upgrade your ships and drones with credits and XP. You can also do research after you earn the research points. The higher the level mission you are on, the more iridium fuel it requires. This can be a real problem. I'm only allowed to use my phone certain times of the day, and well, I run out of iridium fuel very fast. So this means I have to wait until it refills up, and usually that is after my phone is locked for the day. My dad won't let me spend money on getting iridium fuel, so I have to wait until the next day to play again. I give Spacious a 7 out of 10 stars because I love the fast-paced game and the shooting, but I really don't like that after a few missions. I have to wait until the next day before I can play again. If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck. Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help. You can call him at 407-801-2667.
cwsmithlaw.com. The website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Does it actually have that much W's?
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And now we're all ready for the book of the week.
Amelia Bedelia, Under the Weather. So this book is written by Herman Parrish. Let me read you the back of the book. In fact, Karen, would you do the honor?
I would be more than happy to do the honors. Oh, thank you so very much. Amelia Bedelia is not feeling well. In fact, she feels terrible, and her mother won't let her go to school and see her friends. Amelia Bedelia is so sick that she doesn't even have the energy to change the television channel and is stuck watching the weather. It is really raining cats and dogs. Or is Amelia Bedelia running a fever? Luckily, Mrs. Adams stops by with some delicious chicken soup.
Or should I say chicken noodle soup?
Oh no, it would be chicken matzo ball soup in my world. That's the way I grew up. Unluckily, Mrs. Adams suggests that Amelia Bedelia might have a stomach bug. Is there a bug in her stomach making Amelia Bedelia feel under the weather? All's well that ends well, however, when Amelia Bedelia's father comes home just in time for soup. And Amelia Bedelia is soon feeling as right as rain in this funny and easy-to-read book that is a perfect choice for beginning readers.
So first off, this is an AR book. This book is worth 0.5 points or half a point. This book is part of a series called the Amelia Bedelia book series for beginning readers. It is designed to have good stories and use words to help new readers get better at reading and understanding the story. So the story is about Amelia, and she is in bed and she does not feel good. She is told she's under the weather and has to stay home from school. She was happy for a minute and then sad that she would not get to see her friends again. Her father takes her downstairs in front of the TV, which is on the weather channel. Now she feels she's in front of the weather. Her mom checks her temperature with the thermometer and finds that she has a fever. Amelia does not understand what being sick has to do with the weather. Then a family friend comes over and brings some chicken noodle soup. She suggests she may have a stomach bug. Amelia Bedelia is concerned about having bugs in her stomach. It seems that Amelia Bedelia does not understand that it's just a saying, and she does not really have bugs. I give Amelia Bedelia Under the Weather 9 out of 10 stars because she gets to stay home and watch TV, and that she gets better. I think this is a good book to get you points towards your AR goal, and I think that all second graders should read this book.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373.
And now it's time for our interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the amazing Mrs. Karen Kuzsel. Karen is a psychic entertainer and does dancing and dresses up very fancy. I have known her, Karen, ever since I can remember. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
I'm finding it very interesting. You are quite the entertainer.
So your bio says you are a psychic entertainer.
Correct.
I don't really know what that means. Can you tell my listeners and me?
Sure. A psychic is somebody who allows their intuition and their instincts to guide them into feelings, sensing, appreciating, being a receiver of information. Every single person is psychic if you substitute the word intuition. Some people say feel something in their gut. Some people say like mother's instincts. And all it means is that when you get a feeling or a dream, something happens, that you pay attention to it. So the only thing that makes me different from everybody is that I pay more attention to it, to what I'm sensing, than other people do. And a psychic entertainer means that I work events. I work parties, and I love to keep people entertained and wowed and amused, and I get to wear great costumes, and I like being the center of attention because I'm a Leo.
So that answers my next question I was going to ask you. What does a psychic do?
Well, in my case, I work events, parties, birthdays. Sometimes I'll be dancing, but most of the time I'm moving around a room and I'm reading a variety of readings, whether it's palm reading, which is looking at lines and shapes on the hands, or tarot cards or runes. There are many, sometimes it's just by touch, and I get a picture in my head. Now, not all psychics work events like I do. Sometimes psychics have a one-on-one consulting company, and they have a little shop window, and one person at a time comes to see them, and they might tell them what's going to happen in their future, prediction, or if they're a medium, which is another type of a psychic, they might talk to that person's deceased friends and relatives. There are many types of ways of reading, so the name can be applied. Psychic is kind of a generic name applied to many types of readings.
So what is the best part about being a psychic entertainer?
For me, it's that I get to meet so many new people. Every show I do, I am meeting a completely new audience, and it doesn't matter what age they are. For every show I work, there is always one person I meet that at that event that tells me that was the reason I was supposed to be here, because maybe I'm giving that person a hug they needed, or maybe I'm telling them something positive and they needed to hear something positive, or maybe I am there to turn around their skepticism about not believing in any of this, because it's not about defying somebody's religious philosophy. It's just about the way I read is about personality and making your life better.
Okay. So what kind of events do you perform in?
Oh gosh, it could be pretty much everything. I do a lot of corporate events, and in that it might be a trade show, it might be a party, it might be a cocktail reception, that kind of thing. But I also work a lot of high school and middle school parties. I work graduations and birthdays and weddings and bar mitzvahs and just people having a Halloween party or that kind of thing, because I get to wear a different type of costume for every one of those events. And I have a room that is this big room just filled with costumes and makeup and jewelry, and I get to play in it.
Wow.
I know, it's really fun.
So my dad says you travel around the world writing about food in hotels. What's the best part about traveling?
Getting to eat all those foods. I love to travel. I love traveling. And the best part about traveling is getting to try so many kinds of foods that are indigenous to the area. Lots of wine, especially wines that are from that area. But I love the history of the buildings and the architecture, and because my husband is very much into the architecture and the history, we kind of share all those things. And then because I've had a career, and still do, as a journalist, that I've been writing professionally since I was 12, I come back and I write these long blogs that detail information to other people on what they should know about the area. Not so much like other travel writers might just glowingly talk about a particular element, but I try to give information that they will find useful when they travel, such as, what this hotel is like, or what restaurants we found that were awesome, or what kind of local customs are there that people need to know.
you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always know you were going to be a psychic?
No, I certainly. Well, let me re-explain that. What I always knew I would be a journalist, a writer. That was always number one. And then I wanted to be a dancer, which I've also done. The psychic thing I grew up with. My aunts, my grandmas, everybody did different types of readings, but it wasn't a profession. It just was the way it was. So I grew up doing things and knowing things, such as the phone would ring and I'd know who was on the other end automatically. Or I'd dream about somebody and within 24 hours I'd run into them, even if I hadn't seen them for years and years. So I never thought about being a psychic because I didn't think that was anything in my world. And it was actually Disney that put me into business as a psychic. I had done a few events.
Disney?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was Disney psychic. I was everywhere for a long time. I worked all their events.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved it.
Wow.
I was also a dancer for Disney.
So that's what you were for Disney.
Well, yeah, I did. I did a lot of belly dancing and all sorts of stuff.
Okay. So if my listeners wanted to grow up being a psychic entertainer, what advice would you give them?
I would say that the first thing that you need to remember is that it's not about you as the psychic. It's about what does that person need from you? What kind of information are they looking for that will make their life easier or better or happier in some way? So I think of myself more spiritually and positive, and to convey positive information. There are so many types of psychics, and everybody's going to have a different reason for why they do what they do.
So when you are not traveling or doing events, what is your favorite thing to do?
Cook and bake. I love to cook and bake.
Okay.
I do. I put on all kinds of old rock and roll music, and then I just get in the kitchen and I can spend hours and hours just making food for everybody, and I love to cook for other people.
So what else do you do fun?
I love to dance. I love going to exercise classes where I get to dance and be fit. I love to read. I read a lot.
Okay.
And I love movies. And I love visiting with people. So, I enjoy trying new things all the time.
Okay. Can you tell me that one story? Remember this is a kid show, but that one story, that you're not supposed to tell me about.
Not everybody knows that I've been on 2 national television shows, on game shows as a contestant. And the second show was a remade version of I've Got a Secret, and my partner and I won the game. Yeah.
That
Yeah, not everybody knows that.
is awesome! Wow.
Not everybody knows that when I worked for a certain magazine, that they sent me to Russia, and that I roamed around Russia, or that I used to interview lots of famous movie actors and celebrities, and, it was pretty fun.
Nice. So is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
I think the listeners should know that I am a very positive person who tries to make the world around me better. And I try my darndest to be a better person each day.
Okay. So do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners that want to follow you?
As a matter of fact, your dad and our lovely, handsome guy over here, Pierre, and your dad put together, redesigned my website right now, and it is so fantastic. It's super exciting. So my website is www.thepsychiclady, and you have to know how to spell psychic.com.
Okay. Thank you so much, Karen, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for me in the corners?
I would love to give you a hug if that would be okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. It was my pleasure to be a part of your show.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator rights. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Get ready, it's time for the Bowling Score Report.
This week we got to go bowling for the last day at Skylands. It was sad to say goodbye, but fun to play with my friends. I got to play with MJ, and my scores were 66, 72, and 115.
Wow.
MJ beat me in all 3 games, but it was still fun. I also got to see Vanessa and Mia. If you want to go bowling with me, be sure to join me at the new Summer League at Boardwalk Bowling Monday nights at 6:30 in the evening, bro.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners.
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, Karen, for helping me with Math Corners. Today, we are going to talk about the area of a triangle. So the first thing you need to know is the unit of measure. Just like last week, since the triangle is flat like on a sheet of paper, the answer will always be in square units. It could be square feet or square inches. But if you don't know, you can always say square units. So my dad tells me, since that I know how to find the area of a rectangle, I should be able to do a triangle. See, a rectangle area equals, drum roll please, base times height. But triangles don't really look like rectangles. But if you take 2 triangles that are the same and put them next to each other by their longest side, it makes a parallelogram. So now that looks like a rectangle. And I know how to get the area of a parallelogram. You just have to do the same formula as a rectangle. So the area of a parallelogram equals base times height. Again! So this is really cool now. If 2 triangles make a parallelogram, then half of the parallelogram is a triangle. So I can figure out the area of a triangle by taking the area of a parallelogram based on 2 triangles and dividing it by 2. I know that is a mouthful, but I made a graph with 4 units tall and 8 units wide, and no matter what the angles of the triangle was, as long as it was 4 units tall and 8 units wide, it was able to make a parallelogram, but the same area. So if you take 4 times 8 units, you get 32 units, and divide it by 2, and then you get 16. So the area of the triangle is 16 square units. And the equation is area equals base times height divided by 2. So Karen, do you not know all about the area of a triangle?
I know exactly what you've just told me.
So how do you use math in traveling?
Well, for me personally, I have to know what time I have to be someplace, how far away it's going to be, how much time is it going to take me to get there. So even when I'm going to one of my gigs, which is what we call doing one of our shows, just like musicians say gigs, I have to know, okay, I'm traveling an hour and a half, then I have to compensate for traffic, etc. And how long does it take me to traverse from here to there? And when we're traveling in different countries or across this country, you have to know how many miles it's going to be, where the stops are going to be, what time are you going to arrive there in order to take advantage of whatever places you want to eat at or things that you want to see. It's very important to know your math.
That's cool. Thank you so much, Karen, for your help with math corners.
Thank you for helping me with it.
And now it's time for Heart of a Lion. We at the Tiberius Show like living with the heart of a lion. Living with the heart of a lion stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility.
This week we're going to talk about obedience. For me, I think obedience is being fully committed to doing what is pleasing to God. And the qualities of obedience are compliance with a good attitude and respect for the laws. You know when someone is obedient when they follow instructions willingly and truly. So I'm supposed to come up with how I saw obedience this week. And well, I've been seeing it all month long. So ever since I've been talking about my dad running through red lights, well, he stopped. He stops at all the red lights and he does not do figure eights in the parking lot anymore either. He's obeying the law and so that is obedience. He says he's just trying to set a good example for me. I guess that means I am not supposed to run through red lights either when I get old enough to drive. But I will do figure eights in the parking lot. That. So Karen, did you see or use obedience at all this week?
This week? Okay. Let me think about that. Well, I try to always obey laws. So
Okay.
I'm not a red light runner, that's for sure. And I try to do the things that are legal because it's way better than getting in trouble. You know, one of the reasons that obedience is a big word in my life is because I come from a military family, and military people have to obey very strong procedures and obey their supervisors, chain of command. So I grew up with very strong sense of being obedient and following what is the correct procedure to do things.
Of all the heart of a lion virtues, which is your favorite?
I would say integrity,
Okay.
because I want to be true to myself, because I can't be true to others if I'm not true to myself first.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only Karen Kuzsel for being my special guest this week. You have been awesome, and I hope I get to see you perform one day soon.
I would love for you to come and see me perform.
And be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boyd. Production editor Pierre Laguerre. Green Room manager Danny Boyd. Broadcast associate James Smith. and your program host, Tiberius Boy. The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.